Hello, welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 Fancast. I'm your host, Havoc Puss. As always, joined by my co-host, Frozen Creek. And we have a special guest in Skeleton joining us for our LCS discussion later on in the episode.
Hello. How is your brain feeling, Havoc? I heard you had a COVID test.
It feels fine. I tested negative, which is great. My work is making me jump through a bunch of extra hoops, so it's kind of annoying. On the bright side, I did get to miss my Hell Week last week, so I basically didn't have to work the 6 days that I was scheduled to. So I got to enjoy some really good time off, and I gotta say that's how I want to live my life. Just not doing anything, just staying at home, reading comics and playing video games. That's the life I truly want to live.
Yeah, me too.
It was very peaceful. There was like almost no stress outside of the stuff that I was having to try to deal with for work, and it felt good.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious though. Between you and me and everyone listening, I've kind of been doing the same thing since work has been really slow. But I found out last night that Dragon Quest on Switch is 10 times longer than I thought it was. So I'm maybe halfway done, and I'm 45 hours in.
Oh, nice.
Which is good and bad, but I have like a backlog of like 5 games I want to play.
I haven't played a lot of the Dragon Quest games. I've been trying to play through all the Final Fantasies. I'm on 8 right now, and 8 is super duper weird.
I feel like I heard that one was garbage.
It's really weird.
But maybe that was 11.
I think it might. No, 11 was an online one. I think I can't remember. I think 10 is maybe the one where it's just one long hallway.
Oh yeah. The story for 10 is super good though. Like insanely good.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, at least.
But yes, it's true. You need to be 8 so you can play 9, because 9 is probably my favorite 9? One to play. I think it might have been my favorite one to play.
I haven't heard a lot about 9. I know 6 and 7 are everyone's favorites. 8 is weird, and I've never heard a lot about 8. I don't know anything about 9. I know 10 is like the hallway simulator.
It's not that bad, but yes, it is.
Okay.
12 is good. It's more like a open field kind of game.
Oh, okay.
It's more like, yeah. So I don't know. I didn't love it that much. 7, 9, and 10 are my favorites.
Okay. Well,
I think before you play 9, there's got to be some guide out there of how to play Final Fantasy 9, because the first time I played through it, I put myself in a position where I couldn't beat the final boss, and it would have taken hours and hours of grinding to go back and do it, because I didn't grind correctly the first time.
Oh yeah, I had that problem with 5, where I was trying to get through 5 so I could get to 6. So I was trying to get through the game really fast, and then I got to the final boss, and I was too underleveled. So by the time the boss switched forms, it would just kill my whole party, and I wouldn't be able to finish it. So I pretty much stopped at the final boss for 5. But I say that I technically beat it since I got to the last boss fight. So it's like 99% done.
Or yeah, I did the same thing with 9, and then I played through it again, and holy cow, so much easier to beat the boss. It was a walk in the park, though,
I bet.
the last time through. So I highly recommend finding something about that. But this is not a Final Fantasy podcast, even though I wish it was.
That'd be so crazy if it was.
Yeah, so let's jump back into the
Cloud9 business.
The mini rift.
Yes. The mini rift opens up once again. Cloud9, for those of you that maybe forgot, they're hosting this big, super fun TFT tournament. And they're going to be streaming it on their Twitch channel. I believe today, which is July 8th, and tomorrow, I think, they're doing like the qualifier round. Yeah, they're doing like the NA qualifiers, I think, today. And tomorrow, maybe. But there's going to be a lot of people participating. It's going to be really fun. It looks like. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be really fun, mostly just because we really don't see a lot of TFT stuff going on, like, in general.
Yeah, that's a scene that hasn't been utilized that much since the opening of the game, but I feel like it's almost kind of stale in the sense that there's like a few meta comps that you can play, and it's just a crapshoot on who gets them first in competitive
Yeah,
games.
for how I look at it, it's really just kind of like gambling, and you're just kind of gambling to try to get the best OP comp that you can get with what the game gives you. Um, and it could just be I have like a really limited understanding of things, but it seems like there's really not a whole lot of strategy. It's mostly like there's like 4 comps you can kind of really work with, and then it's just about getting as close to that as possible and putting items on like a couple of characters and all that. So it's fun. Like it's a really chill game to play, but I'm not sure if it's anything that you could create like a really big esports scene around.
Or yeah, in the gambling sense, it is kind of like poker where there is a lot of strategy involved, but at the end of the day, you are still held hostage by the luck of the draw. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
but obviously the good players are good for a reason, and I'm garbage for a reason. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that would be part of it.
Yeah, for sure. There's really not much else to talk about. Since it hasn't happened yet. Moving on, we can talk about Rainbow Six for a little bit. They beat FAV Gaming and then lost to Giants this week ish. It's good to see that the Rainbow Six team is doing pretty good. You know, the Giants Gaming crushed them. They might be one of the stronger teams, but I'm really liking that Rainbow Six is still they're beating more teams than losing, and they seem to be doing pretty good. So I actually got to watch a couple of the games because their games came on early, like late enough in the morning to where I could watch it.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
it was actually fun to watch, right? Kind of.
I actually didn't get a chance to watch it. It came on during, I don't know, maybe a soccer game, or I was
Right.
busy with work or something, so I didn't get to watch it. But I saw it. I was like, I could watch this right now. Or I think I might have been watching LEC, and I think that's why.
Could be. Rainbow Six is really weird to watch because it's like they have to be zoomed out so you can see where everyone is in the building. But since the buildings have walls and multiple floors, I cannot for the life of me tell where someone is at a given time. So it's just like I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I just see people die, and then they're like the observer has to switch to the first person view to like see like get in on the action, quote unquote. And it's kind of hard to watch, but it when things happen, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times way back when I think we had an NA team, but I don't know. I've
Yeah,
never
we used to
really
have an
gotten
NA team.
into it.
They were pretty fun. They won a dream hack, I remember.
Yeah, I wonder if they were at the DreamHack I was at,
Maybe. Who knows?
because I did watch CS:GO there.
Um I guess moving on, we do have some Valorants that people look out for. This will kind of be late, so people this will already have happened. But today, the Valorant boys, they're going to be attending the 100 Thieves Cash App tournament, and then later on in the month, July 25th, they will be participating in the 30 Bomb Summer Cup. So those will be fun to watch. I'm really interested to see what the configuration for our team will look like in these two because Shinobi and Mitch looked really, really weak in the past few events, and I'm really curious if we're going to change up the roster, you know, outside, because right now we have Tens and Relics who are our starting players. And I'm really curious to see if we'll rotate some people out and try someone else because I really want to have like a strong team and not just well, we have Shinobi and Mitch and they're okay, but they're just not operating on a level that like Tens or Wardell or Mixwell or any of the top players are really operating at. So I'd really like to see a team with a much higher like elevated skill level, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like based on what you've said that they need to just switch one of those guys out and pick up a Sage main.
No,
And
they
someone
definitely need
who
to at least get a Sage main because
yeah, someone on Sage duty for 95% of games.
I swear if I see them go no Sage today or in that 30 bomb tournament, I'm gonna scream Frozen. Like you just don't do that. You just can't let someone who can heal and res people off the table when the other teams, the enemy team's gonna pick it. That's just dumb.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like the old Mercy who could res a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
that's basically
people
like
with their
Mercy.
ult.
Yeah, that was basically like the Overwatch Mercy meta, where it's like if you don't run Mercy, you're just an idiot.
Yeah, well, if there's tournaments coming up, I will actually try to watch some of it this time. I will
Yeah,
not be lazy.
good. Did you get a chance to watch the CS:GO Furia game? Because I caught a bit of it, and then it looks like what was weird was we were 1-1 and we were on train. It was like the last map. We were down like 5-10. At that point, I'm like, okay, we lost. I quit watching. The game was not over for a while, and then I get this notification saying that we won, and apparently we came back and won train in some crazy. Let me pull up the score just to. Yeah, we won 16-10. We won like 11 unanswered rounds on train.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like a C9 CS:GO game, to be honest.
It really is, which is both funny and frustrating.
Good and bad runs on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, but that was a must-win game for us in terms of getting points and getting closer to maybe qualifying for that major in Rio. So it was really good that they were able to win that must-win game.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was the big game.
Yeah, it was a really big deal and it was a game that like, well, if we want to still be in the running to go to Rio, we got to win this game because if we don't, it'll be really, really hard. So we won that, so that's really good.
Yeah, so we're in. So we got 5th place by winning that.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure how this all works out.
it's really confusing.
Yeah. Okay.
How they do stuff in CS:GO still confuses me sometimes.
All right. Oh well, we got 5th place SCS Summit. So that I can tell you for sure.
Yeah. But I guess moving on to like our last bit before we get over to League of Legends stuff. The London Spitfire played Seoul, and the funny thing about this, I couldn't watch the game. Like when I woke up, it was already going on, and by the time I tuned into it, we like just lost the last map, and we got beaten 1-3, which I'm not sure what the deal with the Spitfire roster is. Like it seems they're having spurts of like they do really, really good and it looks like they're really improving, but then they come up to like an opponent that's supposed to like test them and see like, okay, well, where's your benchmark? And then they lose. And like on one hand, I understand because they are like, this is a really this is basically a rookie team. Like Krillin is probably the most like seasoned veteran, quote unquote. Krillin didn't even play that much back in season 2, so this is a really young team, and I understand that they're going to lose a lot. I'm not going to, I don't want to be too hard on them or too angry, but it's just kind of really frustrating. Maybe it's frustrating because we did lose to Seoul, which has Jester, Prophet, and Imbadosin on it, so it's like our former players, and, I wanted us to prove that we were better than them, and it's like, look, we didn't need you to be successful and win. We have all these, like, shining rookies that are going to, do stuff, but apparently not. Apparently the rookies still need to learn a little bit.
Yeah, and it was a big hit to their playoff chances too. If they would have won, they would have been in the play-in stages. So
Yeah,
as of right now, they're still sitting just outside, trying to get in. But I feel like this isn't updated because I think we were 6 maps or -6 maps difference last week, and that's what it says this week.
I'm not sure if they're going to
down.
even be doing playoffs this year with what's going on.
That's true. But still, I want to finish in play-ins.
Yeah, I would at least, if we're doing something like that where we're having all the teams kind of get together to do some sort of playoff scenario, I would at least like to get to play-ins. I would say that's the goal, to get into play-ins and try to compete for a spot in playoffs. After that, anything else is icing on the cake. You know, I don't have any illusions that we're going to have a really deep playoff run, since this is the first year in a really fresh team. You know, we could, probably looking to set our sights on next season and what we're going to do. I would probably say maybe get some more seasoned, stronger talent just to kind of balance out your rookies. Like, you can keep like your DPS line is fine. I would say, keep that. You can even keep Bernard and Cleston, who's our off tank players. They're fine. I would really say just try to get like a much better like main tank maybe, and maybe a veteran support player who's really good, because I think that's always been kind of London's weaknesses, in that the front line and the back line always seem to kind of struggle to keep up and keep everyone healthy and alive and whatnot. This team seems to do it at least a little bit better. Back in our old roster, we really struggled, and there seemed to be like a really big miscommunication between like, here's what the front line wants to do, and here's what the DPS line wants to do, and here's what the support line wants to do. Everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. At least with this roster, there seems to be much more teamwork. So at least it's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and it is a brand new roster of rookies, so it is their first year to kind of learn if they're fit for competitive or not.
Yeah. Like I could definitely see this as just being like sort of a reevaluating, kind of rebuilding year. And next year we may like toss out a few players and sign a few players for next year. Who knows? We may not even be in Overwatch League. There were rumors that Cloud9 was trying to get out of Overwatch League.
I wouldn't blame them.
I know it's Blizzard has continually mishandled their esports stuff and their games in general. I would not blame them if they were just like, we just want to get out of Overwatch League. It's too much trouble. Unless they're just seeing like the with revenue sharing and everything, the profit that they're getting from being in Overwatch League outweighs the losses and everything of not making that money being in it. They definitely
100%.
have to look at it from like a business side of things.
Yeah, and not being on Twitch, I feel like kills them.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Like it being on YouTube, like if it was on Twitch, they'd have much more viewership. But since it's on YouTube, you're just not watching it as often. People, I feel like people don't want to bother with watching it on YouTube. They may not be getting notifications and everything and all that kind of stuff, and there aren't drops or emotes and stuff like that. So it's just not as fun.
Or yeah, I'd be interested in seeing some numbers comparing the viewer base and player base from
for sure,
from the first Overwatch League season to this one. And I imagine it would probably be
it'd probably be a downward,
not ideal for
slope.
Blizzard.
But I think that's it for all the miscellaneous news. Join us. We're gonna take a quick. Or do you want to introduce it? I guess.
No. Yeah, we're just gonna take a quick break. We have Skeleton back with us for the TSM match because for some reason he is a TSM fan.
Yes.
So we will be back with more LCS content in less than 5 seconds.
Hello, and welcome back from our brief break. It is me, Havocpus, just in case you needed a reminder, I guess, with Rosen Creek, and we have a special guest. We have Skeleton, our friend. Hello.
Good to be back.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while since we talked to you. It's been what, 4 weeks now since we're 4 weeks into LCS.
Has it been?
Is that right? I don't know.
Something like that. It was like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm losing track of time.
Yeah, it was actually in June because it was before the split started. So it's been a while. How have you been?
I've been good. Life has started to look a little bit up for me, which is nice. I got a new computer finally, so I can finally start streaming, do that podcast that I used to do, play some League maybe, have maybe Frozen and Havoc on, play some fan games. Yeah.
Ooh,
There
fun.
we go. I can carry on my Karma mid and do like
Ooh,
2k
okay.
damage.
All right.
I'm a legendary no damage Karma.
I see your Karma mid, and I raise you a 100% win rate Nico with over 10 games.
Oh, I have like a 10% win rate, so not
Fair.
not in comparison. But if you remember that, I think it was Tryndamere. It was no damage Tryndamere, right? At one point in time.
God.
I'm basically that on Karma. No damage, all shields.
You still run tank on Karma?
No, I don't.
Really? Oh wow. Tank Karma's nothing to mess with. Still good.
I run the Niski build mid.
Oh, okay.
I like it. It's more of my play style than most things. I like to just push and watch my jungler die. So, but yeah, speaking about watching junglers die, Havoc, do you want to lead us in?
Yeah, so we'll start off with our we kind of resurrecting a segment that we can talk about the good, bad, and Dignitas, which is aptly named because they are last place, last place,
dead last,
dead last, perfect. So we kind of go, for those that don't know, we go through and we kind of talk about the good teams, the bad teams, and then the Dignitas teams, and then kind of just say how last week was or how the LCS in general is going.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, it's not the rankings are named not for the quality of the teams, but for the meme value of the teams. So the good teams are actually the good teams. The bad teams are okay. The ugly teams are bad, and then the Dignitas is playing Immortals on Friday Night League. So we can find out then who is actually the Dignitas. But Skeleton, do you want to go first? Who are your let's start at the top because at the bottom is boring and self-explanatory. Who are your good teams or team? Wink wink, nudge nudge.
So starting at the top, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Very tip top Cloud9.
So they're your only good team?
Yeah. They're my only well, here's the thing. I think they're in a category of their own. I think they're just great. I have some good, like decent teams. I would say Cloud9 would be a 10 on a spectrum of 1 to 10. They're the absolute 10, like the thing you compare other teams to. So in that case, yes, they're the only good team. But I would also say no, yeah, I would say C9's the only good team.
Havoc?
I'd have to agree. I can't think, like, watching. I've been trying to watch and pay attention more to the other teams since C9 is dominating everything. I'm kind of trying to watch all the other games just to see, like, well, how are our other friends kind of doing and handling playing against each other? And I have to say, like, C9 is, at least so far in my opinion, it's been the only team that looks really, really good. There doesn't seem to be. I'd say, like, in terms of teams that could challenge them, there may be like 2, maybe 3. But C9 so far has just been a team that has just been above a couple rungs in the ladder.
All right, so I think we know where we're going with the next category, the bad, which is actually good teams. Do you think TSM would be considered in the good category if they were to win against Cloud9 this weekend?
I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if any team who's somewhere second, like if TL or TSM, hell, even FlyQuest, if one of those 3 teams can beat Cloud9, that team immediately is good because they've done something that people haven't been able to do since, what was it, week 6 of last split?
Yeah, I think so. Around there.
When they lost to, when they dropped the game to TSM?
Yeah, and then not Echo Fox. Evil Geniuses beat us a game in playoffs too. But
yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't count playoffs and best ofs. So
yeah,
I mean, technically, if you want to get technical, then yeah. But I think any team in the top 4 that can beat Cloud9 would immediately jump into good.
all right. So going on to bad teams. I think this is the top a layer of the soup that the dive always talks about. There's like the broth, the crackers on top, and cheese is Cloud9 because that's always the best part. But I
Wait,
think
people put cheese in soup?
Yeah. Have you ever had French onion soup?
I've never. I don't eat. I don't have soup, so I don't. I don't
French
know.
onion soup, man. It's cheese and bread and onions, obviously, and they're French. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Can't confirm, but I think, are we all in agreement that it would be TSM, Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, and FlyQuest? That
I would actually take Evil Geniuses out, and I'm even considering taking TSM out and putting them into sort of the middle category, because Evil Geniuses and TSM both, from what I've seen their games have been really wonky, where when they win, they kind of struggle to win, and their losses have been, losses to teams like Team Liquid or FlyQuest. I think that I'm not sold on TSM yet because their strength of schedule has been fairly easy, and watching that CLG game yesterday, it really didn't give me a whole lot of confidence, and we can talk about this more later, but I'm not sure if I'm really sold on putting TSM in the category right below C9. I think TL and FlyQuest would probably be for sure in there. I think Evil Geniuses is probably in the middle just because of their drafting is so bad, and they keep putting themselves in this place of they draft poorly, and then Jizuke just forgets his brain, and then they just kind of fall apart.
Yeah, I think the biggest example of that was the Cloud9 game, and then what was it against TSM? Oh, when they picked Karma mid.
Yeah, that one was just
That's
like,
not
what
a
are you
Jizuke
doing?
champion.
Mm-hmm.
So that was bizarre. Skeleton, what do you think?
I
You wrong?
for the most part agree with Havoc. The only difference is, I'd like to make a quick little case for TSM to be up there, because I actually would switch Fly and TSM, where I don't really believe Fly is that good, and I think TSM is good. So a little bit of stats for you guys. So fun fact: TSM has not lost a single game on red side this year, because when they are on red side, they give Broken Blade priority picks, and when he has priority picks, as you guys know, they beat it in everybody's head during the CLG game. That Broken Blade is actually has the highest goal differential of all top laners in the league right now. That's over Licorice and everybody else. So in those 3 games of red side that they have won, okay, because they played 5 games on blue side, which they've no, I'm sorry, they played they have 3 wins on blue, 3 wins on red, and both of their losses came on blue side. So when they're playing red side, TSM got first tower 100% of the time, so in all 3 games. They also got first blood in all 3 games, and the cleared ward percentages in games that they have won is over 70%, and in the games they lost is under 40. So what that says to me is that on blue side, TSM defers to let bot be the winning lane, and on red side, they defer to let Broken Blade be the winning lane. So I think they're doing this thing where they're trying to get bot more involved in the games, because you do have Doublelift as an ADC. You do have the Doublelift Biofrost synergy, bot lane, and I think they're just trying to get them to figure it out to prepare them later on for more tougher games. I think TSM's pulling a TFT tactic where they're kind of just sitting here taking weird body shots, thinking, "Well, they're really not that good," and I think they're gonna pivot on someone and just kind of come back and win. So I don't know. They've got this real playing possum thing going for them right now. And granted, I'm biased, obviously, but those stats for Red Side are a little scary, and I'm not sure which side they're playing against Cloud9 next week. I think it's Red Side.
Yeah, they're on Red Side.
That's spooky for Cloud9. Although I will admit, in those 2 losses TSM lost, was it the one against TL? They looked really bad. But again, that was game 1, and TSM in game 1's haha XD.
Who else did they lose to?
I think they dropped a game to. Let me see.
Didn't they lose to Evil Geniuses? Or
no,
was it Immortals? I can't remember.
No, they lost to FlyQuest in week 2.
Okay.
They went 2-2 the first 2 weeks. They lost to FlyQuest and they lost to TL.
Right.
Actually, I'm looking at some stats right now. Not about TSM, but kind of a case for in against FlyQuest. They actually have for the second lowest first tower percentage, but they have the second highest first 3 tower percentages and the highest mid to late game rating according to Oracle Elixir's new beta. So I'm not exactly sure what that tells me, but I think it means that they're slow to amp up, but once they get going, they're kind of a machine in some ways, because they do have a good first blood percentage, and I don't really think it tells me much, to be honest. But I feel like they're in that category still. They've had a few clunkers that they didn't win, but TSM has had a few clunkers that they probably shouldn't have won. I'm thinking of the 100 Thieves game. Ryoma was going off, and then 100 Thieves just kind of poo-pooed. Yeah. So if they would have lost that game, they'd have the same record as FlyQuest. So I think it is good that the teams are having a few clunkers out of draft outside of the TSM Fiddlesticks Syndra bot comp. That wasn't a clunker out of draft. That was just a monumentally bad draft. But these teams are still trying new things and seeing if they work. So because I think all of them know that Cloud9 is just better, so they kind of just have to keep improving to get to Worlds, because there's 4 teams competing for 2 spots.
Yeah, you're chasing the brass ring that is Cloud9, you know.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm sold on any of them, but I don't think I would sell any of them either.
It's hard to buy into anything in the middle of the season as well. Being 6-2, well, it looks great on paper. Being 5-3, well, it looks great on paper. FlyQuest could win their next 5-6 games, and all of a sudden they're 12-3, and it's then we're talking about a totally different conversation, you know.
Yeah. Plus, I think you have to look into who were those ones against. Like if you're 6-2 and it's like, oh well, we beat Dignitas, Immortals, 100 Thieves, and Golden Guardians, and whoever else to make the math work, and then it's like, well, it's not really, is that really impressive if we beat 100 Thieves, we're looking good. It's like, well, it's 100 Thieves, of course they're gonna, of course you're gonna beat them. It's not a surprise.
Well, I think the big thing, especially with TSM, is last stat I'm also gonna give. They did this last split, and if you guys remember, where they did the whole we're experimenting for the first 10 weeks of the season, and then we're gonna turn it on type thing. Well, it didn't really work too well last time, but this time they're actually doing it again. I don't know if anybody's aware. So aside from Spica, so Biofrost has played 8 different champions, all 8 games, 8 champs across the entire thing. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to leak something on the Bodied fancast. I have an inside guy for scrim results and I get to see after-match history for a lot of scrims for a lot of teams, TSM being one of them. Seeing a lot of these scrims, I get asked in the TSM Discord all the time, like, what are they playing? What picks are they doing? And it's easy for me. Like, I predicted the Kiana set game they played with Dardoch and Broken Blade last year, and it's because I saw them all spamming it. In scrims, Biofrost has done the exact same thing. He has not played a single champion more than once. Bjergsen has only played Fiddle twice, and then the rest of the board, the other 7 champions, he's only played once. Doublelift, however, has played Aphelios 3 times, Kalista twice, that horrible Syndra game, MF, and then Kaisa. Broken Blade has played 2 games of Aatrox, and then the same thing. The other 6 champions he's played are all once. So, now, we're not talking about Spica. Spica's played 5 champions. He's played lead 3 times, Volibear twice, and a bunch of other champs. We're getting down to this like ideal TSM comp, and the way they're doing things is you cannot actually sit there and ban any champion from anybody aside from Lee Sin from Spica. And that's a very dangerous thing. But on top of that, you set yourself up for these really weird compositions that TSM has had this weird thing. I don't know if people have noticed is they don't pick good Drake killing teams aside from like that Syndra Fiddlesticks game. They couldn't kill Drake and Baron to save their life. And especially when it came to the dragons, an interesting stat for Cloud9 is that Cloud9 actually has taken every single Infernal in every game there's ever been an Infernal in. If you can believe that.
Oh, that's we like extra damage so we can kill you faster. That's
TSM's got 8 out of 9 Oceans killed, and in those games, every single one of those games, Doublelift was on a Hypercarry EDC as a Aphelios or Kalista. So again, they've got this weird "we're figuring it out" thing. That's why I think they might turn it on. And if they don't, then egg on my face, big memes. It's TSM. Like I'm gonna laugh at them anyway.
So what you're saying is TSM is rigging the dragons for Cloud Ocean Drakes.
Well, here's the funny thing: if there's mountains in a game, TSM has seen the most mountains out of any team in LCS this year. They've seen 14 total dragons, and they've only taken 6 mountains. They've missed 8 mountain drakes. So if the TSM Cloud9 game is mountains and infernals, Cloud9's just gonna stop.
Well, if it's not rigged, then
Cloud9's probably gonna stop anyways.
If it's an Ocean Soul, I'm calling you out.
Oh yeah? Okay.
I don't know what for, but
Red side Ocean Soul TSM is the ultimate buff. They're gonna beat Cloud9. You're gonna hear first.
You've heard it here first, folks. Skeleton already leaked the match. He has seen the pre-recorded game.
Oh, by the way, to Cloud9 fans, I'm sorry, but to leak one scrim result of one of your players, Licorice logged 2 games of Fiddlesticks top.
Impossible.
So no one got solo killed then? That's what I'm hearing.
I can't. I didn't get to watch the games. I just get like the after action report. I just get the.
Oh, you just get like the final screen of.
I just get the match history.
Right.
I can see who played what their stats are. I think on one of the games he was 3-0-13.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But the other game he was 1-6-4.
Okay, that's not good. That was a practice game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the funny thing is, it was the second Fiddlesticks game where he did worse.
Like I said, it was a warm-up game. But I guess let's moving on. Let's talk about
back on topic.
Back on topic. Let's kind of talk about the sort of the bads here, because we got some like CLG and I think Golden Guardians are probably the definition of bad in that they're trying, but man, they're not making it work.
Yeah.
I think the CLG game was the thing that really upset me, because watching it over the weekend, you have Pobelter, who is supposed to be this leader and this very wizened player, but he was making some of the dumbest decisions on that team, and the team as a whole is making just the stupidest decisions. Like, they threw that match at least 3 or 4 times, and I think that's just unacceptable from the point of, you're supposed to be the leader of this team. They brought you in here over, I can't even remember, it was Crown. They brought you in over Crown and a few other players because you were supposed to help guide this team. Like, Wiggly is a lot fresher as a jungler, and Ruin struggles sometimes, and Stixay, I don't even know what the fuck he's doing now. He's been here so long, yet it feels like he's just given up and it's just getting the paycheck. But I think it's just kind of unacceptable that Pobelter was playing like that. I think it's unacceptable for Stixay to be playing like how he's been playing. I think that, when you're there's all this discussion of nepotism and washed up NA players still getting a shot. I think you can look at that game and just be like, you guys are supposed to be better than this. Why are you making these decisions here, and here? Why do what you did? Did you not think to just go do the dragon or defend the base or do whatever? Why flash over that wall and kill yourself immediately? It's the decision making for a couple of players that you'd think would be really high since they've been playing for so long seem to have just taken a nosedive in that game.
What synergy?
Yeah,
their brains just all turned off. There was a guy on Hotline League this week who said that Golden Guardians was going to get a world spot this year, which I think is far-fetched, but I don't think it's quite laughable territory, because no one's shown that there's a second and third best team yet. But I don't think it's going to be Golden Guardians.
No, I don't think it would be them. That would be like a real dark horse situation of like Golden Guardians somehow deciding to turn it on, and then they're able to unlock their roster and really win a bunch of games in quick succession.
It would mean that Huhi made worlds.
Yeah, I was about to say, they got to unlock that roster. Huhi at his best is like Yamcha level strength,
Yeah, he literally is like the Yamcha.
He's the Yamcha of the league.
He's there for moral support, but
where he looks like a Saiyan, he looks like he can be good. He's got some fights under his belt. Then you go look at the record of those fights, and it's loss.
Why is he playing with Tien and Chaozu all the time? I don't know what's the deal is.
I don't know what you guys mean, but
we're referencing Dragon Ball.
The Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay. I believe you guys.
They die a lot in the show, so the joke is that they run around with Goku and they get into fights, but usually it's like they put up a good fight, but they end up dying first, and they're kind of like the cannon fodder.
Yeah.
So they die, and then Goku's like, "Oh, you killed my friends for like the upteenth time. I'm gonna have to pour it on to avenge them." And then they just use the Dragon Balls to bring him back. So it's kind of like there's no real stakes as long as you get the Dragon Balls, and it's the whole thing.
Wasting wishes on Yamcha.
Okay, so it's like Kenny in South Park.
Yeah, that's probably a better reference.
Exactly what Yamcha is.
Okay, sweet. All right, so we have our ugly teams right now as CLG and Golden Guardians, and possibly one of the other good team or bad teams. Would you be willing to put 100 Thieves or even this new Immortals roster?
No. I don't think
CLG
it's happening. Personally, I think that I will give it to 100 Thieves and Immortals and Dignitas. Like, their season is so beyond screwed that they're just like, we're just going to rotate people in the roster and try to see what sticks. Like, I admire that. I admire them trying to give other players a shot. Contracts has really worked hard, and Contracts has a spot now over Meteos, who seems to have been phoning it in, and that I think that's deserved. Immortals was having Soaz and Ica start, and they were looking extremely poor. And I think Soaz was kind of a similar situation where he's like, "Oh, I'm better than these players because I'm from Europe," and he's just playing super poor. So it's like, well, we'll just rotate you out with Alorum, and Alorum seemed to be doing a lot better. So like, I could admire them for really trying something this early, kind of in the season, to just like see what happens. But there seems to just be something, that's still kind of off. That's just preventing them from doing good. They're just maybe their players aren't strong enough, or the coaching isn't good. But
yeah, it's the second one. That's what's off.
Yeah,
Zabutin exists.
Well, they fired him.
Good. I said from the beginning of the season that Zabutin is by far the worst coach in the league. The way Immortals has been set up was doomed to fail. And with all the French people on the roster, I'm surprised they haven't surrendered any games yet.
I mean, you're pretty accurate with your predictions, and
I said they were going to be horrible, and they're see. I don't even have the predictions document, so I don't know what my predictions were, but I'm pretty sure I had Immortals 7th. I don't know.
I can find that out.
Well, we'll talk in the meantime, but yeah, I think
Immortals.
You can't put Immortals or 100 Thieves anywhere near the bad teams. Those guys are just straight up ugly. They're filthy ugly.
The weird thing is that Immortals now at least are putting themselves in a position where they can win, but then they just can't close out, and they just somehow lose the game. It's kind of funny because they're like, "Oh, we're set up to actually win one. We're doing it, you guys. We've formed a better team," and then they lose anyway. And so it's like, man, I had hope for you guys, and you just kind of ruined it.
And Dignitas just bringing back the old Dignitas traditions of just being dog champ.
It's weird that like Phoenix having Phoenix starting is really weird because he's been a player for a while, but he hasn't been like starter material for a while. And it's so weird that Lorlo, Dardak, and Phoenix are able to come up and try. That's weird that they have that they're starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but I definitely do think they bring up the rear. But Havoc, I do think there is one team that you're missing from this last category.
What could that be, Frozen?
Is obviously the TSM showman.
Oh, you're right. This Friday, I guess maybe probably today or tomorrow, whenever you're listening to it, whenever we upload it. There's going to be
tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. On Thursday. There's going to be a sick show match, July 10th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm just reading the tweet at this point, but we got a classic show matchup. We got the old C9, the original C9 versus Dyrus, the odd one. Voyboy, who technically wasn't on TSM, but we'll let that slide. Wild Turtle and X Special coming together to duke it out in this really classic, tale as old as time rivalry kind of deal. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Because I'm excited.
No.
Oh.
TSM
either that,
Resident Sleeper.
Or it's either that, or you have to watch Dig and Mortals an hour later. So
it's like, would you rather put hot sauce in your eye or stub your tail for 30 straight minutes?
Yeah, but if we get Eliminations Notebook, if we get Balls on Darius, and
Sneaky Jin,
or the Ash, Ash Zyra lane. I'm trying to think what the other ones are.
I think doesn't Balls has a really good Rumble, so he could play Rumble. High could play something.
High can play Zed.
Go.
Yeah, he can play Zed.
He probably can't play it now, but he could at one point.
It's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, I think that I'm not I'm not excited for the quality. Like the quality is not going to be as good, but I think that I think this is a really, really smart idea, and I hope that if this picks up, they can do more kind of classic reunion kind of show matches for Friday to kind of get people more excited about Friday Night League.
It feels like a Plat 1 promo match with your challenger friend as the ADC dueling with you.
He's like, no, I have a Smurf account. I can help you.
Yeah, Sneaky Wild Turtle, like those are the Smurf accounts. Everyone else is just Plat 1.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Voy Boy, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I wonder if Balls has played League since he got that pentakill.
I haven't seen Balls in like forever.
Yeah,
I don't even know what he's doing now.
Does he have a League of Legends account at all?
I assume
he hasn't streamed for like 6 months, I think.
Is he? Do we know if he's okay? Is he gonna make it to the show match?
I mean, he has to make it. I mean, he's listed as the as being a part of the show match. So he has to be alive.
If you start him, he will come.
I'm hoping he comes back weighing like 200 pounds.
I mean, he was pretty jacked. Like, he is a short, muscular guy. Maybe that's what he was doing the whole time, just like lifting weights and like getting even stronger.
The hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, the hyperbolic time chamber, exactly.
All right. Quick predictions. Then let's move on and never talk about Friday Night League again this week because it's going to be bad.
I think that I kind of think that maybe the old C9 roster may have it, just like classic synergies and all that. Like,
do you think old C9 would beat Dignitas?
I would actually love that.
Honestly,
you could make a whole series. You get old C9, right, and you play against all the teams from like 8 below, and just see who could do better.
Whichever team loses just forfeits the season.
Yeah, whoever loses or has like the worst losing record, they forfeit their spot, and then the old C9 roster slots in.
I'm excited to see Odd One on Elise. He better play Elise. Such a great champ for him.
I actually came into League after he was like starting and playing, so I've actually never seen the Odd One like.
He was hyphy. He was fun. He was fun
really?
to watch. Yeah.
I don't know much about his history.
He's the general, man.
I hope, or what they should do is have the winner of the show match play the winner of the Dig Immortals game.
Winner takes all.
Yeah, and winner, I don't know, but I don't know how good Balls or Lemonation is at this point. But I honestly feel like Sneaky, Medios, and High are probably better than Dig's Jungle, Mid, and ADC at this point. But maybe not honestly. But if you gave them a couple weeks to get back up to speed, they would probably be competitive.
They definitely beat Immortals and Dignitas.
Yeah, exactly. That
definitely
saying.
Well, let's move on because we've spent a lot of time. Let's talk about this Cloud9 TSM matchup.
Ooh,
because that's what we have. That's what we brought Skeleton on here for. That's what we got to get out of him. Is some discourse, and we're gonna talk about this shit. So, we play this Saturday, June 11th at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a tough game. Both teams have really strong players. I can't really see one lane or one role being stronger than the other. Maybe I would say maybe Blabber probably has an edge over Spica, just because Blabber maybe has a bit more experience. I think at this point you'd probably have to look at how does the playstyle of Team A factor in against Team B. C9 likes to have Niski roam around a lot and assist in the lanes to get them ahead and help Blabber get ahead and then control neutral objectives on the map. TSM's approach seems to be a bit more, I guess now would be kind of old school, where you're looking for more, I don't know, more sort of focusing on maybe like one or two lanes and just constantly trying to funnel gold into your stronger side, and then taking it from there.
Well, the big thing for me is so, oh boy, more stats.
Ooh,
Here we go. Fun fact: TSM's gold differential at 15 minutes is 626. Not bad, not good. Something, right?
Mhm.
Cloud9's gold differential at 15 minutes is 3,223 gold. Quite the big difference there.
Or how much was
TSM's was 623, while
Alright.
Cloud9's was 3.2 thousand.
All right, so for the Cloud9 fans out there for reference, Blabber's gold difference at 10 is 510 gold.
Yeah. Blabber's gold difference is essentially almost all of TSM. Cloud9 basically sweep them in almost every single stat, with the difference being TSM gets the first tower more with 88% of the time, and Cloud9 got it 75% of the time. The first blood percentages are identical. Cloud9 has more damage and more kills per game and less deaths. TSM average 14 kills a game, 11 deaths a game, while Cloud9 averages 16.9 kills per game and 6 deaths a game. So they average a stop a game. However, Cloud9's KDA is only a 4, while TSM's KDA is a 4.4. TSM and Cloud9 are tied for average assists on kills. TSM has the slight advantage in boards, but Cloud9 has them in everything else, with the exception of Ocean Dragons killed. TSM has one more than they do.
This sounds. It
Cloud9's
sounds
extremely favored.
Yeah, it sounds extremely favored. I think that I'm really curious in terms of how the teams will draft and how they match up. I think that I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that TSM will probably favor mid and bot for their draft, while C9 would probably favor jungle matchups and how it synergizes maybe with a solo lane. I've seen that, at least for our drafts, I think most of the time we seem to prioritize really good jungle and support picks, since we're always roaming around the map and moving a lot. I'd say that we prioritize those to help make plays happen.
The bans against Cloud9 actually affect that as well, what you said, because 4 of Cloud9's most banned against champions are junglers and supports. I can tell you right now,
they're gonna have to ban Olaf. They're gonna ban
Yeah.
Olaf.
Olaf's gonna be banned. Varus is not going to be played. It's the most banned champion against TSM with 75% of the time, and 63% banned for Cloud9. They're tied for most banned champion, with Olaf being number 2. A lot of Yuumi bans as well.
I could see Twisted Fate also being banned. That's been like a really meta pick lately, and I think that any team, not saying C9 or TSM, I think in general, having to deal with a global like Destiny, I think you just don't want to deal with it, especially if it's a team that could maybe take a game off you and they could challenge you. So I could see Twisted Fate being banned just to take that off the table and make the playing field a bit more level.
I think we can all agree that it's going to be a quick game. The average game duration is within 5 minutes of each other. 34 minutes for TSM, 29 minutes for Cloud9. It's going to be a fast game. Someone's going to get stopped. That's all I'm saying.
Do you fun. Frozen and Skeleton, you guys both can answer, but do you think we'll see Wukong? We've seen like almost none of Wukong being played in North America.
Funny you mentioned that. Licorice and Broken Blade also have logged Wukong games. And so has Bjergsen.
That doesn't surprise me that much.
No, it doesn't. But the Wukong mid. The Wukong mid's kind of nice. Very interesting picks coming down, I would think.
Yeah, so if everything I calculated and the betting odds and the calculator I use and all this other stuff is correct, Cloud9 has an 83% chance to beat TSM, which I feel like is correct.
That's a funny way to say 100.
Well, To be fair,
I mean, it's
they
only
did get
88%. You still have like 12.
Do you guys want to go through like official predictions on the week, like who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, before we end the podcast?
Nobody wins in the
No.
Immortals Indignitas game. I'll start off there.
FlyQuest beats 100 Thieves. No one's gonna pick otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys both say Cloud9 over TSM.
Obviously.
I am gonna. You know what? TSM over Cloud9. Doing it.
You heard it.
I'm saying it.
Betrayal. We brought you into
Same.
this house, and this is how you pay us.
I smacked down your vase.
We showed you hospitality, and all you've done is grind your feet up into our couch.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle. CLG and TL.
TL's going to win that.
TL's gonna win.
CLG is, for as much improvement, quote unquote, as they've showed, they're not gonna win. Come on.
Nah. What do you think? What do you think, Frozen?
Yeah, Team Liquid.
GG and EG.
Golden Guardians and Evil Geniuses.
Mm-hmm. Snooze fest.
I think I would
probably Evil Geniuses.
Really? I think GG might actually take a game off.
I was gonna say it might actually be Golden Guardians. Golden
Mhm.
Guardians at least seem like they have it a bit more together, and because it seems like when Evil Geniuses make mistakes, they get easily and heavily punished, versus Golden Guardians seem to be able to at least recover a bit more. And in Closer and Demonte seem to have really good synergy where, and it may just be like a regular season thing, because I remember in playoffs in the spring, Evil Geniuses looked like Spencer and Jizuke were really in a thing, but you know, it for regular season it just doesn't seem like they're really syncing up and playing well.
Or so
Very interesting.
the betting stuff I used again has Evil Geniuses at a 73% chance to win.
Really?
I honestly
Why?
think probably fair. If
I'd say like 65.
If they were to play this game 3 times out of 4, or if they were to play this game 4 times, I think Evil Geniuses will win 3 of them.
That's fair.
So whether you think that's going to happen, I think that's a fair way to put the matchup. And that's also why I think that Evil Geniuses is going to win, as long as they don't try something dumb like tank fiddlesticks for Shizuke, because
they always give him just these weird picks that make no sense.
Just make him play LeBlanc all day, every day.
Yeah, exactly. Or play Akali or Zed. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Just
it's like not putting Power of Evil on a control mage. What are you doing? Just let him play control mages.
Or yeah, just make him play Orianna, Syndra, or Talon, because that's all I feel like he plays well.
Yeah.
Or I'm okay with an Ezreal or Kale mid with Runeglaive, but
Pale mid sounds fun. It sounds really fun.
yeah, so it's been a while since he's pulled that shit out, because Runeglaive's been dead since at least season 5, maybe season 6. But that was fun.
Bring back tank meta.
Sure. Actually, I'm not opposed to that.
Tank meta was fun.
I don't think Cloud9 is as good, but I think it is a fun meta to watch team fights in.
Give me TSM.
True. All right. Any other big games to predict this weekend? Golden Guardians, Team Liquid.
I'm gonna call that a big game. It's an interesting game.
I mean,
I'm sure TSM will find a way to lose to Immortals.
I think the games Sunday are actually pretty, outside of TSM and Immortals and 100 Thieves and C9. I think that the Golden Guardians and Team Liquid and CLG and EG games are actually pretty interesting, since they're all kind of bunched up in that kind of block in the standings. So
we're gonna see some differences coming out next week.
Yeah. I think after this week, definitely we'll start to see teams kind of actually trending to where they're going to probably end up. Probably after this week, maybe next week.
All right, since I've been bringing up betting odds, and I know this is something that
We get it, Frozen. You have a gambling problem.
I've never bet on a sports game outside of March Madness,
I have.
but ever since I found all this stuff, I'm interested now. But Immortals is favored in the dig matchup. They're favored. They have a 67% chance to win, 68% chance to win, which
You know what?
honestly, that feels fair.
You know what, Havoc?
Hmm.
You know what, Frozen? I'm putting down the gauntlet right now. Okay. Frozen, you want to bet? You want to gamble?
Possibly.
I bet you $20 PayPal. TSM beats Cloud9.
Is this straight up or
Straight up. 20 for 20. If TSM wins, you give me 20. Cloud9 wins, I give you 20.
all right? Deal.
Deal?
Deal.
All right. I'm shaking my hand in the air.
All right. Me too.
All right.
I'm
Right
not.
there.
I'm not betting. I'm
Check
not
the
betting because
tapes.
I'm a coward.
Check the tapes. Well, if it's a digital bet, then you don't have to hand over any cash, so therefore you just don't lose.
Exactly.
It's science.
It's science.
All right, so we do
Just
have
keep
another.
telling him. Just keep telling him that you keep forgetting your PayPal password. He can never legally seize the money because every time you try to log in, you're just like, oh, I forgot it. It locked me out again. I gotta wait 3 days. Sorry.
Cloud9 wins. Oh man, I just realized I don't have a PayPal.
But all right. Oh, we do have one more game this week. Let's run through it super fast because we've gone on a long time. We play 100 Thieves on Sunday. I wish I would have been able to check in with our friends on the other side, but I think they might be suicidal at this point after watching 100.
Oh yeah, I've been checking their Twitter and I listened to a podcast and it was a really good episode. They did it when Meteos and Stunt were leaving and bringing in Contracts and Poom. It was a really good episode. I highly suggest people watch that and watch them because they're super cool dudes. I kind of feel bad. I am kind of excited though because it's sort of the C9 Contracts reunion ever since he left. I'm really excited to kind of see how he measures up to Blabber, in a sense. I mean, he's gonna die. I mean, I don't think that there's no question. Like, they still have Ryoma, and Niski is better than Ryoma, and then look at the bot lane. You have a kid who has gotten slingshot from the amateur scene to LCS, which I don't say that in a disparaging way. I think that if Poom is all he says he is, and if he works hard, he deserves that spot. But you have a greener than green support playing with Cody Sun. That bot lane is dead on arrival. I can't emphasize how much Sven and Vulcan are just going to just kill them. It's just facts.
Surprisingly, Poom is not that young. He turns 21 at the end of the month. I just looked him up, but interesting fact. That's all I got for that fact. But I also looked up the betting odds for this weekend's game. I think I should just make this a weekly segment.
Oh, Frozen's betting corner.
Yeah. So, what are the odds of Cloud9 winning? Do you guys think?
Winning against who?
100 Thieves.
I would say 99.99999.
94% just in case someone gets sick.
It's close, but just a little bit lower. It's 92.3%.
Imagine the person who's like in debt of so much money. They bet on 100 Thieves and 100 Thieves wins. That would be I would be like shocked. But
Be great.
Also just be like, oh my god, I just bet like $1,000 and now I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or yeah, let me make sure I have this right. Oh God. So if you bet $100 on 100 Thieves and they win, you would make $575 of profit.
That's not too bad.
And to win $100 betting for Cloud9, you would have to bet $1,200
Oh jeez.
to
Jeez,
just
man.
win $100. I don't think I would do that bet. Mostly because that's like all of my bank account, but that's beside the point.
I feel you.
Yeah, but I think we have said enough about that. I feel like that covers most of the 100 Thieves game. There was one more fact I wanted to put out that I heard on the dive, just in case we were to go 0-2 this weekend. I heard this on the dive. Someone called in, Samuel Driscoll, I believe is what his name was. Cloud9 has gone 2 full years without an 0-2 weekend. And their last 0-2 weekend was week 3 of summer 2018 when they brought in Golden Glue, Blabber.
Oh, that's when they did the whole benching situation.
Yeah, the benching. So we have not had an 0-2 week in over 2 years at this point. And for reference, every other team in LCS had an 0-2 week by week 5 of spring split.
I think that's pretty impressive that you can go a full 2 years without going 0-2 in a regular season. I think that's
Couldn't be me.
Also impressed that this dude went back and counted each weekend for 2 full years. So
Dedication.
shout out to him. But I think that's about it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Skeleton, do you want to give us some final thoughts on the match this weekend? Maybe what you're expecting, what you're hoping to see, perhaps.
Out of which match?
The C9 TSM one.
I'm going to predict a couple of things. Broken Blade's going to solo kill Licorice.
All right,
Sven and Vulcan are going to 2v2 kill TSM almost at the same time. And Niski and Bjergsen are actually both going to be on very boring mid lane champions, and they're just going to farm. I'm expecting like Corki Azir, maybe.
Oh, that matchup's so boring.
Yeah, it's going to be very boring in the mid lane. But bot and top are going to be a hyphy, and jungle's just going to be Speak is either going to play Lee Sin or Volley, and I think Blabber is going to
play the opposite one. I'm sure.
No, he's gonna bring a Nocturne or something.
I wouldn't be surprised, but actually, last split, TSM
he brought it out in playoffs, and it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
Or last split, TSM didn't really cheese, but they kind of did. I don't remember exactly what the picks were though, so I guess I'm not going anywhere with that. But I honestly feel like they might just trade Elise and Valley, and then I don't know what Innis is gonna pick. He might pick Joe, he might pick Karma. He brought up the Rumble again.
The game TSM won in spring. Would you like to know the picks?
Yes.
Broken Blade was on Set. Licorice was on Shin. Dardoch was on J4. Blabber was on Lee Sin. Niski was on Zoe. Bjergsen was on Zillion. Kabe was playing Zaya. Sven was playing Misfortune. And then it was Rakan for Biofrost and Leona for Vulcan.
All right. Yeah, it's coming back to me now.
They ran that kind of cheese, keep Set alive forever comp.
Yeah, and it's not really. I don't want to call it cheese because they played what they're good at, but
being cheesy is what they're good.
Well, you know what they say, it ain't easy being cheesy.
Shut up. Shut up,
I'm in the safety of my own apartment. You can't do anything to me.
All right. I think that's a good
You
time.
booze me nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
True. Point take.
It's a good
Taken.
spot to end right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, let's close it off there. Skeleton, thank
please.
you so much for joining
Yeah.
us tonight.
Love being on, guys.
Thanks for listening to everyone, one and all. Skeleton, what's your Twitter, if you want to plug it?
And Twitch.
My Twitch is twitch.tv/definitely not skeleton. I couldn't think of another name.
Much simpler.
My Twitter is twitter.com/Skeleto04289559. Don't know how to change the numbers. Get over it. Come and follow me. I sometimes post rumors and leaks and stuff.
And you can find us on Twitter at C9 Bodied. Follow everybody. Check them out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye, guys.
See ya.